Okay, question number 1. It says, read this sentence from the story. He is a sweet man with a honey tongue, and he is a teller of tales. Why does the author include this description of Bumpy? Okay, now remember, anytime you see the word why and include, those are key words. If you did not highlight the word why, that's okay. I'm highlighting it because I want to bring attention to the fact that when you see the word why, that tells you that your answer choices are going to have an academic verb. We have show, explain, convey, and explain. Now we know that the word explain means to tell about something, but what does the word convey mean? Sort of. It kind of means to bring attention to. What does convey mean? Huh? Somebody said it. To show. Okay? For show. No. To show. The word convey means to show. So we need to make sure that we really, convey is a very important word. It's very likely that you're going to see this on your test. You are going to see it on your test. There's no way around it. So you need to make sure your paper looks like my paper. If I'm writing this, then you need to be writing this as well. Now, in addition, it says, he is a sweet man with a honey tongue, and he is a teller of tales. Let's go find, before we even look at this, let's go find this in the text and tell me what paragraph it's in. So we already found it, paragraph 10. Right here we go. He is a sweet man with a honey tongue, and he is a teller of tales. That's going to be our question number 1. So we need to pay attention to everything that this speaker is saying in this paragraph to understand why it is that she included this description of the dad or the Bumpy or whoever this guy is. So we need to understand the main idea. It always comes down to main idea, guys. Now take a look at this. He is a sweet man with a honey tongue, and he is a teller of tales. When you think of honey, what do you think of? Sweet. Okay, so sweet. Okay. It is sticky, but sweet is what we're looking for. And then tales, as it's spelled here, T-A-L-E-S. What does tales mean?
Like lies.
A story.
Yeah, story.
Very good. Now I want to warn you to be very careful with this type of question. Anytime you have a test gives you an excerpt, a piece of the text, you need to make sure that you go back and read where it came from. Because what it looks like here and what it looks like the way they wrote it in the paragraph are not the same. And if you don't go back and check, you are very likely to get this wrong. This is a highly missed question. Question number 2. In paragraph 9, the second reason that Sophie is allowed to go on the trip shows that her mother. Okay, so what is this question? Who's being asked about in this question?
No, her mother.
Her mother, okay? Shows that her mother. So we're focusing on how mom feels, not how Sophie feels. And where are we getting this information from? Paragraph 9. And we're looking for the second reason. So let's go to paragraph 9 and find the second reason that Sophie's allowed to go on the trip. Okay, so the second reason, but one that somehow comforts my mom, is that Bumpy is on the other side of the ocean. Then it says we will end up in Bumpy's arms, and she wishes she could join us for just a moment. If the mom wishes that she could join her, then the mom kind of sounds like what? She's jealous, right? So it sounds like the mom is jealous here in question number 2. Make sure your paper looks up. Okay, question number 3. The description of the 3 sides of Sophie's personality help the reader understand her. So, who are we focusing on here?
Sophie.
Sophie, right? So we're talking about the 3 sides of her personality. What does it help us understand? So when we're reading, we need to pay attention to these 3 sides of Sophie's personality. And what does it tell us about her? And it says look at these. We have determination, her mother's reasons, her frustration, and her difficulty in making a decision. Taking a look at this, the question is asking about who?
Sophie.
Sophie. So what answer choice can we eliminate?
Mother's reason for allowing her to go on a trip.
Exactly. We can eliminate B. B is not talking about Sophie. It's talking about her mother. Okay? So we can eliminate answer choice B. Without having read the text, we know that B is not going to be correct. In paragraph 9, the word extensive, which is based on a Latin root, means. So where does our information come from? Paragraph 9. What's the word we're focusing on? Extensive. Okay, so let's go to paragraph 9. I see it underlined there. The first is that Uncle Dot gave her an extensive list of the safety provisions aboard the boat, which include a satellite navigator and a global positioning system. So that is question number 4. Now, remember that if you go to the dictionary and look this up, there's a couple of strategies you can use. One is skim any word that has extend, extends, extend. See what they all have in common, anything that has that root. The other thing is you need to make sure you go back and you put it in. Make sure you go back and you replace it so that you know that the one you pick is the right one. All right? It's not enough to just go to the dictionary and look up the definition and pick the first one you see. You got to make sure it matches the way they're using it here. Question number 5. The qualities Brian is described as having in paragraph 6 are most closely related to those associated with the. So who are we being asked about here? Brian. Where is that information coming from? And what about this word related? Have in common. Good. Okay. When something is related, it is connected. So you are related to your family. That means you are connected to your family by blood. If you're in a relationship, you are connected to the person that you're in a relationship with, okay? So relate means a connection between in some way. So you have it in common, you're connected to it in some way. So let's go to paragraph 6 and see how they describe Brian. Says, okay, I see his name right there in the second line. Brian. Quiet, studious, serious Brian. What other words have this root right here? S-T-U-D. What other words include that root? S-T-U-D. Studious. What other words? Study. And then who studies? Students, okay? So he's quiet, he's studious, and he's serious. What ideas do we get about Brian based off of this description? Okay, doesn't play. So somebody who doesn't play is kind of what?
Serious.
Maybe he's mean. Plain. Careful. In my first period, they said he's boring. They were like studious. Likes to study. He must be boring. So if you think he's boring, you could write that down too. So this is your question number what? 5. Now remember, guys, for character questions, when they're asking you about characters, you have to draw conclusions. If they give you a description, you have to look at the description and say, what does this sound like to me? If Brian had been described as being loud, always in trouble, you would say that Brian's what? You'd say he's probably a bad guy, maybe he's kind of a wild guy. But that's not how they describe him. So you have to take a look at what they give you and then go a step further. Question number 6. How does Uncle Doc respond to his sister when she expresses concern about Sophie's safety? How does Uncle Doc respond to his sister when she expresses concern about Sophie's safety? Who is this question about? Uncle Doc. Okay. Uncle Doc. And what does the word expresses mean? There you go. Good. Show or tell in some way. Remember, express, explain. So how does Uncle Doc respond to his sister when she tells him that she's concerned about Sophie's safety? Question number 7. Why is Sophie's father most likely in favor of her going on the trip? Okay, why is Sophie's father most likely in favor of her going on the trip? So who are we focusing on? Sophie's father. And then what does it mean when something is in favor? What does it mean if you're in favor of something? Okay, maybe you want something. So what word uses the root fav in it?
Favorite.
Favorite. If it's your favorite, then it's what?
Your best thing.
Okay, so then how do you feel about it?
Love it.
Maybe you like it, you love it, right? So you're okay with it. If somebody's in favor of something, then that means they're okay with it. They support it. They like it in some way, okay? So Sophie's dad is in favor of it. That means like he's okay with it. He likes it. I am in favor of kids having laptops at school.
I love kids.
I'm in favor of kids having, and so I'm saying like I like it. I do love it. The school that I was at before I came to you guys, they did not have laptops like y'all do, okay? And it makes the learning experience a lot different. If you're absent, I can send you my PowerPoint. Or if you're an ISC, I can send you my PowerPoint. Or if you have to retake a quiz, you don't need to wait. I can let you retake the quiz right there on the spot. Having the laptops is awesome. Everything was on paper. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, question number 9. Read the sentence from the story. There are 2 other reasons my mother has not tied me to the bed and refused to let me go. The author uses figurative language in this sentence in order to. Okay, so we're focusing on the figurative language. And then they're using that word author uses. It ends in "to." That means what do we have to do?
Find it in the story.
Before that.
Annotate it.
But look at the question, guys. What do I need to do? Good. Emphasize, show, establish, exaggerate. What does emphasize mean?
More attention.
There you go. So bring attention. Okay. If I exaggerate something, what am I saying?
Something's not true.
Being extra. I think that's probably the best definition I can think of. When you exaggerate, do y'all know what that means if someone's being extra?
Yeah, it means they're like adding.
They're adding to it, okay? So when you're exaggerating, you add to it. You're being extra. And then what about establish? If I want to establish something. So, I thought I heard somebody say it. Who said that? Did you say that? No, not build. What did you say? Show. You're close. I guess the combination of you saying show and you saying build kind of made a different word in my head.